My board.
Hi there.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, listen, we're sorry about the boxes. You can see our faces, but I don't know what went on with this thing. I want a bigger picture, and I'll have to figure that out later because Deborah was trying to help me, and I had a vertigo box too, and I don't know what all.
It's going to all work out because, everyone loves us, no matter how we show up, naked or clothed. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We got the greatest community. Oh my gosh. So how
are you, Deborah? Thanks for coming. I wanted you to talk about 26 for numerology.
And I want to thank you, Linda, for giving me room to do something a little different today. And it's totally on faith in me that you said yes to this, because I only suggested it a few. Oh, yay, my book. I have your number. Thank you so much. So one of the things I've noticed, and it's hard to pinpoint, like that we're moving into a universal year, because 2026, you add up the numbers, it ends up to be a 10, you drop the 0, it's a 1. So that means a new beginning for the whole world, universal. And that's good that's kind of nebulous what it means. And then I say, oh, it's all new. We get to try new things, think different ways. But what does that really mean? And then there's astrologers saying the planets are a new way. And then there's Atlas coming in, and we're thinking maybe there's going to be a new alien or a new hero. What does this really, really mean? And I would really like to share 3 very, very short stories that will illustrate.
Hi, Mel's in the house.
How are you feeling, Mel? You were sick.
Just talking about you.
Thank you.
Poor guy. He was so sick.
I know.
Okay, so tell me. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, so this is real different for everybody. I just hope you enjoy it. So I'm going to explain 3 short stories about what I've researched with my hero, Harriet Tubman, that I've studied a lot about. She's a remarkable woman. And it will set up, the last story is going to illustrate the nuances for a one universal year, so people can get it, because it's different. It's just different than, things will be different, brand new. Yeah. So the first story is talking about Harriet Tubman's integrity. She decided to leave to run away. And the first thing she wanted to do is go talk to her father and tell him she's running away, and to prepare him, because her master is going to send the guys over and ask him, and she wanted him to be prepared. So she went to the tree line and hid behind a tree, and she called out for her father, and he said, come out and let me see you. She goes, no, I know you can't lie, so you can't see me. I'm running away, and the master's going to send the posse over, and the first thing they're going to ask you is, have you seen your daughter? And you can honestly say no. So that sort of illustrates the integrity she was raised with. What's that?
Do you know what her number was?
No, I didn't actually look it up. I should have, doggone it. I will by the end of the show figure that out. I'll email it or check it out. Nonetheless, then we're talking about, so now we have the differences, like them and us, red and blue, and what we're struggling with today. But we, as a collective, we need to have that integrity, that ethics. and we're moving forward. It's hard to hold, but Linda, you've helped us keep the faith, to keep that in check. So that's where
they told me, they said, I said, well, I don't want to get up and brush my hair. And they said, you will help calm them down.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've done that. In fact, that gives me chills. It does that. There's the next story I want to illustrate is kindness, and what, or not kindness, not so much kindness. Harriet was in a free state and decided to take the train. So she boarded the train and she sat there and noticed, it was her first time, she noticed that the conductor was coming for tickets and she didn't have a ticket. She just boarded the train. So she panicked and looked around really quick and found a newspaper, and she decided if they thought she wasn't educated, because she was totally illiterate, if she was educated, maybe it would go easier on her. So she grabbed the newspaper and opened it up and kind of hid behind it. She was a small woman too, and she hid behind it. And a white woman saw her doing that. So she got up and crossed the aisle and stood right in front of her and looked down on her and took her newspaper away and turned it right side up. She would, and then said, do you have a ticket? This brings tears to my eyes. Do you have a ticket? And she went like that. She gave her a ticket because, after all, a white woman who travels by train all the time, who knows the conductor is going to, oh, my dear, I must have dropped my ticket on the way. Now, white women can lie, but because it was so treacherous for her, because she does not lie. She couldn't make up that story.
Isn't that something?
Now, here's where the rubber meets the road, where we come in to our one.
You think that lady was an angel?
I think so. But, in those days, like if it was this day, she'd be live streaming it, right? Or running on YouTube and saying, guess what I did today? And this is, we have lost our way, because there's magic. In fact, there's an intimacy of grace when you care for someone else sincerely. And that can stay with you and change your life. But the minute you say, guess what I did today? I bought a sack of fast food for somebody. That's where we've lost our way as far as being good and kind, and just giving and not thinking a different thing about it. But it does feel good, and we want to share it, but we shouldn't share it.
I know they say if you give, but you talk about it, or you want acknowledgement for it, it's not truly giving. It's the ego. But we start out with the heart giving, but then if we let it go to the ego and the mind, then we're getting in trouble. So I believe there were a lot of women and some men in those days that were helping quietly, because it didn't go well for white people supporting black people then. Right. Hi, Sherry. Go ahead. I was just on her. Hi, Sherry. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. So here's the story where it comes to where we are today. So Harriet knew, when she heard that there were states up north that were free, that slaves were free, she wanted to go. And she was in Maryland at the time. So the very first free state she came to was Pennsylvania. In fact, right at the city of Philadelphia. And so she was on the road with the sign that said, entering this new state. And with reverence, this was the moment that she walked across the state line. And imagine her surprise, her disappointment, her despair when she looked at her skin and it was still black. Her perception, her point of view was white equals free. So therefore, when I cross into a free state, I will be white. That was her perspective. So this is where we are on the other side, the slave side of our state, coming into the one,
universal year, because we're YouTubers are saying it's going to be new, it's going to be great, it's going to be that we're going to be free, right? And imagine our surprise and disappointment when we get to the other side and it's like more of the same. But things do change. She saw the fight as being the same, but then different, and that's how she relived her whole life, was through experience. She couldn't read anything. So I wanted to share that story because our fight, I hate to say fight, but our resistance that we need to be strong against is this moving forward. We already know that in politics, the red is eating the red. He's losing momentum and he's had a good run, but it's coming to an end. We know that.
Yeah.
So we've been fighting against that. We need a new perspective of how we're going to address what we're fighting against. And here's my prediction for a one universal way. I was going to change your mind about something, change your perspective. We are going to be fighting our own in government now. That's our job for the one universal year. And that is the Schumers, the Democrats, the old guard Democrats that just want it to be back to normal. Well, normal got us here.
Exactly.
So we need to understand inside our own minds what our new vision is. And that's where we're going to have to fight for our democracy with our own Democratic Party. And we have a lot. Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, Lisa.
Well, I got interviewed by a guy named Emilio. It was a very fun show. And he said, what is your, basically, and my guides hit me up with this right when we were ending my interview. What is it you think the world should know? And I said, I know this sounds cold, but I said, never depend on anyone. Depend on yourself. Because even those who you marry or their family member, they can change or leave in a twinkling of an eye. Mm-hmm. Always depend on yourself, which she sounds like someone that knew how to take. She didn't leave her self-worth out for someone else to identify. By the way, did her master keep looking for her?
Yes, there is. Yeah, well, they left, but they knew that she would come back to family because she loved her father so much. And so she, before she even left, her master did something that was awful. He always threatened to take her children, but really never did. And her last child, he took her child. And she had such a relationship with God, Linda. Oh my God. And she said that was the last straw. And instead of me, like if it was me, I'd be mad at God. God, why did you allow this to happen? No. What she did was say, God, if you are not going to soften that man's heart and change that man's heart, then get him out of my way. And he died a week later. And she absolutely believed that she killed him.
Oh my God. And did she get her child back?
I don't know if she got her child back, but that was the moment that she changed into a declaration of truth.
So she said, God, if you don't soften that heart, get him out of my way. Let's talk about that with Trump right now.
Exactly. If you're not going to change his heart.
And he just keeps going on with that foul mouth of his. And something is bound to take place with him.
Yeah, but this is where it gets tricky, because I think it's going to happen like in the first half of next year, is that there's going to be a vacuum happening. If he falls, there's going to be a vacuum, and there's going to be everyone scrambling to keep their own pocket full. And then we just can't afford to have our Democratic Party say, well, you know, now it's back to the slap on the back. Let's have a beer at the bar, and I'll give up the health and well-being of this section of people in my state if you give me a contribution. That all of that has to change, and that's a heavy lift.
And they're going to do what do you call term limits too. It's hard for them, but they will do that in the next couple of years.
See, we can't do it with. I keep picking on Schumer, but I can't think of the older guards, Democratic guards. I just want to pick on
all
him.
gotta go.
They do.
Our young progressives will come in there and change it.
We just need more. And so what I'm praying for is like people getting up and doing it. Now, what's to our benefit is that he, I just don't want to even say his name like Voldemort. He has caused physical, emotional pain, long-lasting pain. People are losing their homes and losing jobs, and long-lasting pain. It just had to happen that way. And this is what surprises me is that it took this long. The whole time I was thinking, this is the tipping point. This is going to get him under. Never happened.
And I don't even think the totality of the Epstein is totally going to take him down. Something else is coming up, but I think it's a lot to do with his health. Not necessarily that he's going to pass away, but he's unable to perform his duties. And I really feel people marching in the streets with pitchforks. Like people will be, when they start, as it is, see, remember when he won and I told my guides, why?
Yeah.
Why? And they said, man has free will, thank you, but that wasn't free will. A lot of it was cheating.
Yeah.
A lot of it was cheating. But I also said, they said his people need to see who he really is. And right now he's busy working with Venezuela and Nicaragua, not helping people here. They can't afford their medication. A 28-year-old just died with 2 little kids because she can't afford her chemo.
Oh my God, that's terrible. When we step back from that, you know, when you're saying quickly, you said that the election was tampered with or whatever, and then your guide said, oh, that's free will and all that stuff. It's the moment of integrity. There was a moment prior to whoever flipped the switch on those machines, you know, that was the moment. And we gave them an opportunity to choose differently. And it didn't happen.
Sorry, Nicole. I said Nicaragua, Nigeria.
Nigeria, yeah. And
so what number is Trump?
4, and he's a stubborn 4. He and Trump Jr. is a 4 as well. So when they get something, and this is nothing against 4s. If you have a 4 life path, this doesn't mean, but you are a little stubborn. You will research, you get your ideas, you research them, you vet them. If it keeps a roof over your head, you're going to keep it. But changing your mind is really, really hard. But I've seen the tenacity of a 4 do wonderful things, right? So it's just the shadow side and what you want to do with that. I did write down some. I wanted to see who Epstein was, the kind of number for that, because, you know, I went down the rabbit hole when I was learning numerology. I would write 100 serial killers' birthdays and 100 Nobel laureate birthdays and athletes and entertainers, all these, and I'd go through and what number was, you know, dominant, or because there's always a dominant. So I always have these ideas of what the number should be. And I got his birthday here. So now Epstein is a 3 life path, was a 3 life path, which is communication. And he was good at communicating. He knew how to create a package. He knew how to creatively, I guess, talk people into doing things his way, because it's had to be a cooperative. One man couldn't do all that.
Maxwell really helped him along.
Yeah. I have her birthday here too. So she was a Christmas baby. That didn't help her, I guess.
No. Listen, I want to tell you too that last night I had a dream of Zelensky. And we were like, not in a very nice place, but it almost felt like a bomb shelter. And he looked tired, but and he was a little gruff, a little dirty. And I was like upset. And I was telling him, why didn't you just take Putin out? I know you had the opportunity. Why don't you just take him out? And he said, if we take him out, the United States will work against us while that man is still in office. They'll blame us, which if you look what he just did with, apparently Ukraine's hitting Moscow. Notice he didn't mention about Moscow hitting Kiev. So he said it has to come within the Russian.
Man, he's a 33 life path. Navalny was a 33 life path. This is they're born with that extra idea that they can do something bigger. And wasn't he an actor or a dancer?
Yeah. And a good dancer, by the way.
Those are such wise words. I'm so glad you shared that with me, because that's exactly what it means, what we have to do here. It'd be so easy to, do that to Trump, just get him out of our way, have someone do it. And, but then it doesn't feel right. And of course, it's unethical, but it's something else had to happen, because it's not just one man. It's all others that hold things up. Personal.
Somebody said St. Petersburg, not Moscow, but that's what Trump was saying. Moscow.
Well, yeah, I can't. He'll say whatever comes to mind.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh. So we need to go to find out what your personal year is. It's very easy. You just add your month and your day and the current year, which would be 2026. So basically, if you were born January 1st, you would add 1 + 1 and then just add another 1, which is 2026 adds up to a 10. So it's a 1. So, and no matter how you add it up, if you do get an 11 or a master number, that doesn't work for personal years. It's just a 9-year cycle. Okay. And how you manage that. Let's say you're going into a 1 personal year. That's all about personal year, not universal, but personal year. That's all about new things, changing your mind kind of quickly. It's all about you, what you're going to do. You think of yourself as a singular person, with all of that. And that kind of year can be tough on a 2 life path person, because a 2 life path person is a kumbaya. Let's get together. Let's have a community.
And the life path is determined by the birth date, the actual date of birth.
Right. The actual date, just add 1 number after the other, including the 19 of your year. And you add that up, and it's a double digit after that. You'll get a double digit number. If it's not a master number where you would stop, it was not 11, 22, 33, you would go ahead and add the double digits together and get a number. And
I think I'm 1, right? I'm 1.
You're a 1. And so that is your archetype. So if we had an archetype, people want to learn about life path or the numbers in general, the archetype of the numbers. I do have a little something I can do so you'll never forget what a number means. You want it?
Yeah.
Okay. In your imagination, while you're sitting here thinking about this, and I'm telling you about it, you actually draw the number 1 in your mind. We're drawing 1. You're a single person. You are independent. You have an opinion outside of everyone else's. You're self-centered in a good way, self-centered in a bad way. But it's you first. The reason you need that space as a 1 is because your ideas, God with you quickly. You've got ideas, inspiration, motivation, boom, boom, boom. You'll give up what doesn't work for you quicker than anybody else. Now, let's go to a 2. In your imagination, draw a 2. This is going to be backwards because I'm mirrored. But a 2 kind of gathers others over here and then goes way over here and gathers everybody over there. It's like a nest. Let me bring in and let's master relationships. And so all that good and bad, losing boundaries, but loving purely, that's their lesson. When you're thinking about a 3, the number 3 is swirly as well, but all on one side, right? The 3 goes like this. So that means I'm different and creative. I'm going to move things in a different way. The 4 is that box. 1, 2, 3. It's a box. You can't tip a 4 over if it's a box. So that's the rigidness in a good way. They don't feel comfortable. They will stay living at home until they have enough money to own something secure.
Yeah, there's a lot of people like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that is, it's a high priority. Now, the 5 is fun to write in the air, and it explains it because they're the restless ones, right? And so when I draw a 5, if you draw a 5, it's like I'm going to go from east to west to Mexico to the Panhandle. Travel. You see how the 5 just does all that. Now that's the active one. The 6, I look at the 6 as a grandmother with a big belly. You gotta rock it back and you write the 6 and it comes around and just gathers the babies, right? And this is the home, the hearth. 6 doesn't move often. It just, now there's active 6s. These are archetypes that I'm talking about. Now the 7s are interesting because you draw a 7 and it's just here, there. It's black and kind of white, but in an intellectual, interior way, because they go up in the atmosphere and get information, and then they bring it down and see how it fits on Earth. Brilliant people.
Right,
Brilliant
right.
people. The 8, of course, is give me this, give me that, give me that, give me this. It's like a circle of motion, and people that are 8 life paths, their destiny that they can take advantage of. I hate to use destiny because it's not destiny, but their gifts, what they can have in the world. Life is going to offer you good food, good lodging, good opportunity to invest in the world. It's like the pentacles. These are tangible things. So their life can move kind of on the slow side, it seems like, but everything acquired is of value. The 9 is, when you draw a 9 in your mind, it goes from the right to the left and then down again. So it's revisiting everything from that cycle.
Yeah.
And bringing it down into a declaration of your own truth. So that's how I look at the personalities of the numbers. And when you adopt that, for everyone here who's such incredible psychics and seers and healers, if you get to know a number personally like that, so you learn the archetype, and then you find out what person has that life path number, mm-hmm. and then you have different aspects of that person, and then you adopt that. That's all you need. When you're doing readings, you have someone's number, you enter the room of knowing through the filter of that number, that archetype. And it's like God your guides being able to adjust you, kind of recalibrate you to a point where you are in the room of knowing, and your readings. And I think your advice gets better, more concrete. Instead of kumbaya, it's actually, you can do this.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Hi, Jeremy.
he asked a question. 1134, everywhere I go. Isn't that angelic numbers?
What's that?
Is that numerology or is that an angel number?
Oh, all of the numbers have an angel component to it. I don't work with that because, but Sacred Scribes Index has all the numbers and her interpretation of what angel is connected to every single number. So you could go there. Just be mindful. It's sealed. There's a lot of ads on there. So just get to that point.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, you can. Now, how I do numbers is that I add them up.
Right.
And so the moment is, so what's the message of that number? You add 7, 4, 3, 1, and 2. So 7, 8, 9. This is a 9. So the energy signature of a 9 is please give up what doesn't work for you anymore. It's like an emergency. It's like it's saying whatever you're doing or thinking about doing right now is you need to change your perspective. Give up on the idea that it has to go your way on that. So wherever you see that, there's a common denominator, I believe. If you look, ask them about it in a quiet manner, you'll see a common denominator of when you see that number. And then you can say, okay, I got to give up something, whatever that is. That's how I would do any number.
So the theme for 2026 is 1. And no matter what number you are, what does the 1 represent?
So, again, the 1 universal year is the energy signature of groups or societies.
Okay.
So
that makes sense.
Through that lens, that's what we're going to have. So it's 2 kind of different things we'd go. So if a 1 personal year is all, if you have it personally, is all about trying new things, not being afraid to try new things, not being afraid to give up on things that aren't working out quickly, how to be brave, and in a meeting at work, just shout out what you're feeling, that you're going to have an impulse to do that. Be brave to do that, even if it costs you some stares or something like that. That's the impulse. That's when you work with the numbers. If you insist on staying the same in a 1 personal year, saying, oh, I can't speak up. Oh no, I really do need to give up my weekends for this problem someone else is having, and I can't go to the beach or I can't go have a spa day. That's when trouble begins, because your impulse is, I want this spa day, some time alone, but my obligations are. So that the challenge of a 1 personal year is having the voice, the words, and this is where I can help you. We can form the words on how to say in a very graceful way that you're not going to serve another person at this time. Because you really did. Because this is like, you're in favor. The stuff you get to learn in a 1 personal year is remarkable, but you have to be able for it.
So I'm 2 then.
You're
a
2.
1 plus a 1 is 2.
So, but you're a 1. You are a 1 life path number. That number never changes. You were born on earth to do new things, to introduce new things. You say it funny, my guides told me to get online and do this and stuff, but you did it. There are plenty that don't. And when they don't, their life just stops. It's a rut.
Yeah. Oh, I had no choice. Well, the cancer is what really opened me up, but
it's almost like, well, hey, look, if I have nothing to lose, this life is short, TikTok, that type of thing. And so that moved you into the full potential of a 1 life path. Now, in a 1 life path, in general, I just said you do new things, which you've done. Like the 2025, you've grown a lot. You've said yes to a lot of new things and done it well. Then we go into a 2, and that's when you start moving into relationships. What's going to happen to you on the shadow side is that people will misunderstand you.
Okay.
But, you have a large audience, there's going to be people kind of pushing
I
back.
always have that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you get some hate mail. I experienced some of that when I was on last, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, she lives with this every time she goes online.
Yeah, but I have my daughter who deletes them and blocks them.
Right. But the thing is that the 2 is all about bringing things together, but in a new way. It's a universal year. Your topic is politics and the masses, right? That's your point. That's your favor. So it means that you are going to bring things together in a new way, communicate in a new way. Instead of this dot to this dot, you're going to find 3 or 4 different dots. You're going to have the epiphany, like, oh, I see how all that comes together. And let me tell my people. So they can shift perspectives. That's the value you bring in for a 2 personal year as a 1 life path.
Okay.
And you do it
really
well. Really, really well. She says, there's a question, is it possible to have a 22-4 life path? Yes, it can. So what does that mean? Oh, yes, I wrote that in the book. I hate to brag about the book, but I wanted to address that because when you add up your numbers, I suggest you do one number after another instead of grouping this number, add it up, and then reducing it, grouping it. That gets complicated and boring if you just add it up. And if you get a 2 life path, 4 life path, 6 life path, add it up a different way to make sure you're not a master number. So you would take, if you were born, in 2000, well, that wouldn't work because the 2000s don't really work that way. But if you would add up, the old-fashioned way of doing it is that you would take your year of birth and add that up and then reduce it to a single digit. Take your day of birth and add that up, reduce it to a single digit. And then the same for the month. And then see if you're not a 22 master number. So I'll just say this for sure. Every single person that I have met in this, especially this community, if they are a 4 life path, they are an enlightened 4. The master numbers were born into situations that need to make them tough. I'll just say tough and confused and all that stuff. And usually it's later in their life when they grow into their full potential. Mm-hmm. But there's this underlining things. I got to get something, got to do something. I got to do something. You are like a master builder. You can work in quiet. You're disciplined for a 22-4, but I would identify you as a 22. In the book, I will write 22 and then I'll explain the root of the 4 and how it affects.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
What is 33? 33 is the root of the 33 is 6. So you would read the 6th life path, which is your shadow side is that you're really hard on yourself. So hard that when you speak up, and as a 33, you have to speak up. It's in your blood. You can't keep quiet. But when you come to the table, you bring receipts. I think this way because of A, B, and C. Here's the receipts. And they'll cite everything. If your perspective needs to shift, it's sometimes hard. Even though you're right and you have all the receipts, sometimes it's hard to do that. But you so hard on yourself. Oh my God. So what that feels like in a 33, God bless you, is that you're walking around every day and attention to detail is like laser. So when you see something, you have an imaginary, and don't take offense to this, it's imaginary measuring stick of whatever you're seeing. I wouldn't do it that way. That dress is too short. You have this measuring stick that you can't shut up. But if you just understand that that's your tendency, you won't hurt yourself by saying, oh, I shouldn't, I'm such a terrible person for being judgmental. Just embrace it I see it's part of your charm, and just being aware of it is half the battle.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I see 11s. There's a lot of 11s here. 20,
a lot of 11s, yeah.
24-6. Oh man, 24-6. Because
Yeah.
that's what Maxwell is. No, she's a 26-8. Never mind. The 24-6. The 6 is perfection. Remember the 33, the root of 33, this perfectionism and bossiness. And you were born bossy, and God bless you. But before you kill me on that, the 24. So the reason I say the two numbers that make up the 6 is because the 2 and the 4 are your life lessons, and the 4, which is closest to the slash, is your most important life lesson. And the 4 is that rigidness. I've got to be right. You can't change my mind on something, that type of thing. You have to overcome that in your lifetime. Okay. And the 2 is working well with people. So when I see someone who's grown into their full potential as a 24-6, they are remarkable people.
Oh, that's great.
Remarkable. Amazing.
Well, girl, we've been on for 41 minutes, and unfortunately, I'm going to have to go because I have my prayers at pretty soon.
Well, I did want to announce, since I was going to take advantage of one thing. I've had a lot of people who wanted to know more about numbers. And since it's the beginning of a new year, I have a few workshops. It's the first 3 Saturdays in January. And I think it's $37, but it's going to be a Zoom so we can talk to each other, and it's going to be limited so we can get down to business. That's why I put three options open. But if you wanted to just come in, it's on my website.
Okay.
Right on the front page. And so you just click on.
And your website is?
myname.com or growyourlight.com. growyourlight.com will get you there, and it'll explain everything. Thank you.
What are you doing for New Year's? Are you just chillaxing?
I always enter New Year's with a ritual, so I'm going to be home with my ritual.
Yeah. My ritual is snoring by midnight.
Yes, mine too.
People are like, "What are you doing?" Back when I was younger, this girl never missed a party, or I threw New Year's parties. I could no longer go to a party than the man in the moon. I couldn't stay up that late.
You know what? I got to tell you that I remember when I was young, I could not stay up past 10. And I thought to myself, when I get old, I got to remember this, that I've never been able to stay up. It's been my whole life. So I love you.
I was a night nurse, so I was able to stay up late working as a nurse. And then after I came out of working as a nurse, I never looked back. Having those babies later in life really changed things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You could sleep when you could get it.
Yeah, exactly. You become very malleable.
So, yeah, that dream I had with Zelensky, that was amazing.
He is an amazing soul. And when I die and go to the mansion that holds the sacred texts, I'm going to go to his text.
Yeah.
And I'm going to study that man. Just a remarkable soul.
A remarkable soul. Mm-hmm. And the Ukrainian people are remarkable people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you guys so much. And don't forget, she's got a Saturday. I can't do it because this first weekend I'll be in Las Vegas at the Sphere seeing The Wizard of Oz.
Awesome. Good for you. Good for you.
Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christine and Lisa and Water Lily. And I think Nicole was here too.
We got a lot of people. A lot of people
here.
These are
my people that make sure the cray stay out. Unconditional.
Our protection.
Bora.
Foxy Roxy.
Yeah, Foxy Roxy. Thank you, you guys.
Thank you, Linda, so much. See you, everyone.
You take care. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.